Disney Plus, July 3rd, Hamilton. It's real good.
You can watch it as many times as you like. You can watch it as many times as you listen to the soundtrack. Unlimited Hamilton. Disney Plus.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Tell me, how do you guys feel about having Hamilton on screens and giving so many people the chance to see this film?
The cool uncle who walks in with all the $5 bills and candy. Everybody gets a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to know that we get to share. We get to share it with as many people that have heard the soundtrack, or as many people that have gotten to see a touring production or a production in the years since we've been gone.
It was just it's such a rare thing to get to preserve something that happens in the theater. By the nature of it, it's what we sign up for is an ephemeral thing. It's slipping away the whole time you're doing it, and you're okay with that. So the fact that they brought cameras in before we all left and memorialized this thing, that's the best.
The question is always, what do you like better, theater or film? And for me, the answer is always theater, except for one thing, and that is the fact that it's gone. If you weren't there, you missed it. So, when they find out how to capture theater and actually bottle some piece of the magic, and have it be something that our children can see that missed it, then it changes the answer to that question.
We're bringing theater into people's living rooms. So we really had a high priority to just do the Broadway musical. So we filmed the Broadway musical live and never changed anything. And of course, in the edit, the camera can do some magic. But for the most part, we didn't change anything in the show. And so the difficulty there is making the experience as visceral as possible, because when you're in the theater, there's this give and take with the audience. When you're watching it alone in your living room, it's a little bit different. But in testament to the amazing writing, the amazing performances, the material is so emotional and so guttural and so complex that I think you take a ride in a similar way that you do in the theater.
For me, the most challenging part was to just maintain the show, maintain the thing that we created, and just do it. With cameras and all that stuff, I had a lot of energy, but making sure I didn't try to do a little something extra, for the camera, anything like that. Just do the show, do it as it is, be fully present. But it was super exciting because this doesn't happen a lot for us, for theater actors. This isn't normal.
We shot the film in I think it was 3 days or something like that. But it was, I think the most challenging part was shooting in the morning and then doing the show at night. We shoot all day, you get a break, and then you do the show at night. Sometimes we had 2 show days, so we start at 8 in the morning was the first shot, and then we'll go to 1 or 12:30, have a break, come back for half hour, then do the actual show, then another break, and then do the second show. So it was almost like it was 3 shows in a day, 3 hours long. It was grueling for sure.
I think during that time, it was a beautiful moment of feeling like this culmination of the experience and what a gift that it got to be captured. And I think in the moments where, as Oak and Anthony were talking about, when we were tired, when I was really tired, or I was nervous about the fact that this thing was being captured and I didn't want to get ahead of myself and I just wanted to do the show, I was really grounded by the fact that I was surrounded by this incredible group of people. And I just really wanted it to feel like a celebration of all of the work that we had put into it, especially since I was going to be leaving.
The good news is that we didn't have to change anything. The good news is that we could just perform our show. Speaking for myself, I know I was very nervous performing because we were filming the version, and I knew that it was going to be seen by many people, and I wanted the show to be perfect, perfect entre comillas. All we knew is that we wanted it just make the show powerful and to put our passion into that performance. But the good news is that we could just do what we needed to do. We didn't have to worry about the cameras. We didn't have to worry about doing anything different. All we had to do was just be and just perform the show that we had been performing for the past year and a half. And that was a very liberating experience because we were so rehearsed and we were so prepared that when it came time and the red light went on, we could just be.
Magic, make magic.
Exactly, and that's all you try to long for as an artist, right? To try to forget everything around you and just focus on your craft. That was a big blessing.
And what was the best part of doing this?
I think
go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the best part is going to be, just like our show has touched many, many people in the theater who have never been in the theater before, I think it's now going to touch many people who have never been to the theater and now long for using their imaginations in that way and long for taking the opportunity to say, I have to experience theater, or I want to be part of theater. I think it's going to be a great inspiration to a lot of people.
I think the best part of it is that, at the time that we filmed, it was a very exciting time for us and for the show. And there was a very, I used the word electricity. We felt a lot of electricity in the air. And knowing that we were able to be there in time and capture something, I know, speaking for myself, it's just nice to have that snapshot. Because I watched the movie and I'm instantly transported to what it was like in 2016 and how our lives are changing and how the show was being received. And you can hear it in the audience. You can feel it in the performances. To be able to look back on this film and be able to say, oh, I was there. To be able to say, oh, I was a part of this, or to be able to say, oh, that's me. That is something that is very extremely gratifying, and especially for this work of art that we feel so proud of. It's something that will always be there.
We had an audience. It was really we filmed 2 full performances with the audience there and everything.
Oh,
and
nice.
And then just 2 days of sort of close-ups and stuff without the audience, but those were just spot things. So we really, this is some Tommy Kail, like, preserving the theater genius level stuff, is that he structured it to almost, so basically we just had to do our show. With very few exceptions, we just got to show up and do the show that we'd already done hundreds of times, and it was his job to figure out how to capture that. So it was really, there were some extra days that were exhausting when you already do 8 shows, and then that week you have to do 10 shows. That's exhausting, but I think other than that, it felt like doing the show to me.
Lynn has said we were the most well-rehearsed company in the history of film. I mean, we'd done hundreds of performances at that point. So
over and over again.
Yeah, well, you're talking about a master level of understanding of what it is that we were doing, and collectively, and that made a huge difference.
Learned there really the power of collaboration, in a way that I'd never learned it before, and I try to repeat it on all the things I work on since. The power of collaboration and the power of diverse perspectives in a room. That was a really diverse room, and look at what we can do. We can make something magnificent when we're all invited, when we all have seats at the table.
I don't think there's one. There's so many messages within the show. I think one of them is you can be an immigrant. You can come from anywhere in the world and make something of yourself in this country. That's the beautiful thing about this country, and that is possible. And also that you are valued. You are valued, and you do have a voice. And the message is to go vote, to get with your friends, start a revolution, to talk. And there's so many messages in this show. Those are a lot of them.
And it's so great that it's coming out at this time, that we're living now. That's amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.